Hi coaches, Derek here. In this edition of The Breakdown, I'm going to discuss why player participation fails in practice. As I've mentioned before, player participation or ownership is one of those things that some coaches absolutely love and others loathe. Now me personally, I love it when I see coaches start to hand responsibility over to players. It changes the relationship between the player and the coach. I see a lot of players gain confidence when suddenly they realize that, hey, my coach trusts me to make some decisions here. And on the coaching end of things, it almost breathes new life into the coach. They start to focus on the things that they actually really want to do, like strategizing, analyzing, and less time on micromanaging all the little aspects of what their players are doing. For a lot of coaches, I think it can be an absolute game changer. When they start to explore the concept and practice how they go about doing it, it can open a lot of doors and really transform what you can ask of your players. So why don't more coaches do it? A big part of it comes down to simply not knowing what player ownership means. Without a good explanation of the concept or practical examples of what it looks like in practice, I think most coaches start to think that player ownership just means simply giving players the reins and saying, here you go. I spoke with a netball coach once, and they were completely shocked when their players started to play Aussie rules football during a warm-up session that they'd asked them to design on their own. Of course, your players are going to come up with things that are completely unexpected if you don't put any boundaries on what they can and can't do. Player ownership is far more nuanced than just handing your players control. As a coach, you need to figure out, okay, what are the outcomes that I want to achieve? And then what are the constraints that I need to put in place in order to guide my players in the right direction? Things won't work out the way you expect if you're not thoughtful in your approach. Figure out what outcomes you want to achieve first, and then figure out how you can get your players involved into achieving those outcomes. That's it for this edition of The Breakdown. If you want to learn more, go to www.derekpanchuk.com and subscribe. Thanks, coaches, and keep growing.